Welcome to episode 115 of the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business. I'm Brian Fisher. In the previous episode, 114, our guest was Jason Kruger, discussing business financial insights. Today's episode discusses Exit with Style with John Martinka. This podcast series is targeted to business owners and C-suite executives. It reflects my 34 years as a business owner and subsequent years as a business mentor and consultant. It focuses on the various subjects and topics to help you run a successful, profitable business. They're approximately 15 minutes long, so you can listen while commuting. And hopefully, you'll find one or two takeaways to implement per episode. Based out of Kirtland, Washington, John Martinka is the founder of Martinka Consulting. John has been a breath of fresh air to his clients as they seek to buy or sell a business. John Martinka is known as the escape artist because of the work he does in three areas. First, helping executives escape the corporate world by buying the right business the right way. Second, creating large exits for small businesses so the owner can exit their business with style, grace, and more money. And third, accelerating businesses so they escape their plateau, with a specialty of using growth by acquisition. A recognized public speaker, John has developed a reputation for expertise in business acquisition and problem solving. He has a knowledge and real-life experience which gains clients' confidence and delivers measurable results. John gets results for his clients, whether it's buying, selling, or dramatically increasing the value of their business. His experience includes having analyzed hundreds of acquisition candidates for scores of clients and helped over 100 clients buy or sell a business. Let's welcome John Martinka. John, welcome to the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, Brian. It's a pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Me too. Thanks for joining us today, John. John, I'm always interested in people's stories. What's your background in becoming the founder of Martinka Consulting?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. I got into the business of buy, sell, M&A through serendipity. A friend who became a friend as we were back-to-back presidents of a local Rotary Club just one day said, "I've always thought you'd be good in this business," or something similar to that. Prior to that, I'd done some sales things. My first real job out of college in the Midwest was with the local concert promoter. And then we moved to the Seattle area just for the heck of moving, and things have worked out.
Well, this episode's topic is Exit with Style. What are 7 key factors that business owners or managers can do to increase their company's value?
Well, I'll go into a little detail on a couple of them and then just go the others briefly. There are some very important ones, and the top few, not necessarily don't all in order for every different company, but one that is universal is have really good financial systems so you have accurate financial statements. Buyers, whether they're individuals, professionals like private equity, a strategic buyer, a family office, don't want to have to wade through the financials to see what's real. Don't play games. Don't blend your personal and business checkbook, because they're going to, if your company's of any size, they are going to get what is called a quality of earnings report that's going to pick apart things. It's like an audit. And they're going to say, are these earnings really the earnings? And if they're not, the price may change or the deal may die. Lower the dependency on the owner, which means build a management team and delegate and let them do their thing. And if they stumble, you're the safety net, but you're not the one who has to do everything. Another one that we can go into a little more detail later might be able to hire and retain good people, great people. Show that you can hire them and you're willing to pay them, and then they'll stay, because turnover and training is very expensive. And then grow. Too many small businesses, the lower middle market, the owner's doing very well. And I'll just use round numbers. The owner's making $1 million a year in profit and a salary. And they're saying, why would I want to grow? I'm making $1 million a year and a salary, and I have nice distributions. I don't want the risk of more people buying more assets. Buyers want to see growth. They want to see a trend. They want you to say, we did this and look what happened. We grew. Reduce other dependencies like a customer concentration, supplier concentration, things like that. And then one I call the three I's that often get overlooked. IP, if you have it, register it, trademarks, patents, etc. IT, you can't pick up a publication or go online and not find a story about some kind of cybersecurity issue somewhere. Someone got phished for money, a company got hacked, etc. IT is important. And then incentives for your people. And I'm going to give you a real quick story. The owner was very tight with the money. He counted every penny, or as a friend of mine says, he would trip over dollars to save a dime. And the buyer came into his business, paid what most people would think was well above market, put in an incentive plan for the inside salespeople, and instead of getting, dirt wages, they now had bonuses and commissions and everything else. He grew the business 75% the first year. That was the main thing they did. And then the last of the 7 key factors is see the big picture. Don't concentrate on, can I save $40 a month on the phone bill? Look at how can I increase sales by hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Following up on that, how can business owners avoid a mistake of thinking they can sell their business like they're selling their house?
That's a really good question because everyone listening to this, I'm sure, has sold a house at least once. And what do you do when you sell a house? You clean it up, you paint it, you fix things, you make it look fresh, and you open the doors and you put a sign out front and you say, come on in and look at me. And there's a big market for it and you want everyone to know. Yet when you sell your business, many owners don't do the things that we just talked about with the 7 key factors. They say, well, it's my business. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And it starts with the appearance. I've walked into businesses that, it's like, well, I'll give you a quick story. Went to visit, I knew the owners, went to visit them. We're seeing the employees are eating lunch in their cars, and I figured out why. It was a machine fabrication shop. The lunchroom was as dirty as the shop. No one wanted to eat there. Make it look appealing. Make the books look appealing. Make everything look appealing. And then realize you don't want anyone to know that it's for sale. So it's a tough market to find a good buyer.
We're speaking with John Martinka, founder of Martinka Consulting. John, why are your people your number one value driver?
As my old friend Bob said when he was buying a business and the seller would not let him talk to the management team before closing, they sat down, Bob looked across the table to the owner in the eye and said, you may think I'm buying your business, I'm buying your people. That's what you're buying. There are very few businesses where you're not buying the people. From Apple and Google on the tech side to corner store to widget maker, etc. Someone's got to run the machines. Someone's got to deal with customers, make sales, etc. They are your most important asset.
John, buying or selling a business is a process. What is the process coming to a win-win buy-sell agreement?
Really what it includes is a seller being realistic and understanding there are ranges of value for businesses of different types and sizes. I've done casual studies after an assignment from an attorney on valuation metrics at different size businesses. And I found that in the lower middle market, so if you'd say to businesses that an individual is going to buy, multiple of earnings is going to be about 4 with a coefficient of variance of about 25%, meaning 3 to 5. If you go up a notch, to the lower middle market, where maybe you're getting a small private equity firm, that 3 to 5 might turn into 4 to 6 or so. And if you go up another notch in businesses, there's a range. And where it falls within that range is some of the things we talked about. Is one customer 70%, or does it take 18 customers to get 70%? Is there a dominant supplier or a key employee, or the owner's the only one who has the key customer relationships? That can drive it down. Recurring revenue, customer diversity, things like that will get you a little higher multiple. So be realistic. There's education involved. There's understanding. It will get frustrating for both sides. And you have to work together, because finding the right buyer, for a seller is tough. There are a lot of buyers. There's a ton of buyers. How many of them are qualified to run your business and take care of your people and keep the legacy going? And the flip side is for a buyer, it's even tougher than for a seller because you got to find a mature, profitable company where the owner is motivated to sell. Not many are for sale at any one time. Maybe, with good businesses, maybe 5% will even talk about it. You want to talk about the corner deli where the owner works 60 hours a week to scrape by a living? Yeah, probably 40% will want to sell.
Having synergy between a buyer and a seller is huge. That was a key factor with me when I sold my business.
Yeah.
Well, John, what lessons learned or results have you seen with businesses or individuals that you've worked with that have implemented your recommendations?
Well, I mentioned one of the things for an owner is see the big picture, and a buyer needs to do that also. And when they both do that. So I'll give you an example right now. We're working on a deal. We're selling a company. It's a family office backed strategic purchase, and 2 + 2 = 22. They want this company. They see what it can do for them. Our client offers things that they don't offer to similar clients. And then they can cross over the other way and sell what their main line is to our clients' customers. And I just had another one. It's a manufacturer's rep firm, and they were bought by a private equity-backed roll-up, and they did some things with e-commerce that none of the other 20-some companies this private equity firm had bought can do. They overpaid. They overpaid in the short term, because if it goes to what they want and our past clients' expertise can fill into their other companies, they underpaid.
We're speaking with John Martinka, founder of Martinka Consulting. John, is there anything I've not asked that you'd like to add?
Well, I think that a couple of things are that, buying or selling a business is not easy. It's something where you got to pay attention to the details. And for, the 80-20 rule says 80% of people doing it really should have an experienced guide. You mentioned that when you sold your business, you had an attorney that had been through many deals. You can't do it on your own. And just whether it's an intermediary like me, whether it's a good attorney who's done deals, not your brother-in-law who does family law, and having a CPA that understands deals, not just tax and how they go together. That team is so important to getting it done expeditiously and fair to both sides.
John, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can go to our website, martinkaconsulting.com, MARTINKA consulting.com, and send a message. We have a sister company that does nothing but sell companies, but just get hold of us through that way. And if anyone is interested, we have glad to get them a complimentary copy for listening to your show of our new book, Exit with Style, Grace, and More Money.
John, thank you for joining us today on the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
My sincere thanks to John Martinka for joining us today. Managing the performance of your company is one of the most important things you do as a leader. This podcast is on YouTube and over 20 podcast directories. In search, type BCF ORG. Be sure to leave a space between BCF and ORG. And don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow the podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me for business mentoring or consulting, schedule a speaking engagement, ask questions, make comments, suggest ideas, or potentially be a guest like John, please go to bcforg.com. There's a red Contact Us button in the middle of the homepage. All the podcasts are available by clicking on the website podcast page in the reference bar. These podcasts will be released the first and third Tuesday each month. In the next episode, 116, our guest will be Jacob Hicks, discussing lasting client relationships. In business, running a successful, profitable business is the ultimate scorecard. You're never done and can always be better. It tends to be more fun than work, frustrating at times, but can be very rewarding. And don't underestimate the value of a business plan and financial planning. From BCF ORG Corp., I'm Brian Fisher, wishing you the best. Thanks.